Okay, whether you've attended one of our 2-3 day training sessions or you're training online, what you've heard early on was we have a dominant core region, that's where we need to stay. Well, we're backing off that, and for a couple of reasons. Your player, your student has to be able to get in the right position with the trail arm. For example, Jay is a low core player. And you'll find that your lower core players have that in the trail arm is really tucked in, inside this right hip. Your mid-core player is not quite, maybe over the right hip, and your upper core player is on the side. So the angles, being able to produce those angles is what we want to show you now. And why some of your players, they may measure low core, but you may need to move them to a different core region for them to be able to do what you want them to do. And that's what we're going to talk about now. And it all comes back to the power angle, the carrying angle that Dr. Melman brought to the research setting. This angle changes, we know, by core region. You just saw earlier that it changes within core region as well. And it changes within because if the core isn't balanced, it will be the same only if the planks are done. So, Jay, let's have you go to, let's take a look at one. We know one is good. One is going to, because Jay's done his wall planks. And there is 158. Okay? So, Jay, if you'd come over here. One of the things we've learned is with external shoulder rotation, it's going to tell us what that trail arm is able to do. So, Jay? Tell you what, we're going to have you bring that arm up and go ahead and rotate up and show me how much external rotation you have.
That's about right.
And that's about it, and you'll see that that is also exactly the same angle. As you're going to learn, it is going to be every time with these players. It's going to be exactly the same angle. Now, Jay, if we were to bring that elbow down as a low core player, where does that want to seat?
Ooh, about right there.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get that elbow inside that right hip from there. So even though he's a low core, measures as a low core dominance, his body's not going to let him get into that. You feel it?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go now, Jay. Let's go back over here for just a moment. I want to show the differences. That was 158. I'm much more extreme because I go from 151 to 161. That was 1. Jay's going to go to 9 now. So, Jay, let's see what the, there you go. This is 158, and you can see that this angle now is much more shallow. Goodness.
Hmm.
168. I guess you are 10 degrees from 1 to, do that again, stand tall. Let's just double check that. Yeah, there's no change there. And Jay, that's one of the most shallow angles we've seen. We're not used to measuring Jay at 9. Go ahead over here. Go to 0 and 9.
I've been told I'm pretty shallow.
So rather than looking at external shoulder rotation being pathology, if you don't have it, you're going to have as much as this angle is going to give you. We'll show you on mine in just a little bit. So go ahead up, Jay, and show me how much rotation back, and that's it. So Jay is going to be told you have some issues with the scapula, and we need to work on that to stretch it. No, this is where Jay is. This is what's given. We overstretch, we may get some issue. It may get some other physical issues. So you don't want to work that. So Jay, if you'd come back over. Now Jay's been measured at 90-90, okay? So go ahead and go to 9 if you would, Jay. There you go. So if Jay were to find strength here, that should feel pretty strong right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you go to 1 for me, feel the weakness?
Yeah.
That just dropped. So I'm going to put you at 158, if you can hold that for 10 degrees more shallow. So we're seeing 10 degrees here. Now that's the angle we're going to move you out to here. Okay. How's that?
Much stronger.
Much
A lot
stronger. The other thing is he's going to have a little more external shoulder rotation here. So let's step back over here, Jay, if you would do 1. And you'll see the difference in the external shoulder rotation now. And there's his 158. So he has more rotation now simply by changing stance width. He's gone from a low core to, or an upper core to a low core. But what we can conclude with what we've seen with Jay today is that he's not going to have much success. He can go try to play, even trying to get level plane of the shoulders, but he's not going to be able to set that right elbow in his downswing because the external shoulder rotation is not going to allow it. So Jay, let's take a look at my differences in mine so they can see. One thing I want to say, though, too, you want to measure, Jay's done this in what we would consider a static motion. Jay, if you'd go back, I'm going to encourage you when you measure this angle to do this. So let's go back up to the top. So this is where we were evaluating Jay before, okay? This is what I would encourage you to do, is take, if there's any other structural problem, you'll diagnose it here. Now he's in his, that's a strong position. Now rotate back, and there he is, that's his one. You're doing that without any difficulty, right?
Yeah, it's not hard at all.
So let's show them over here. You want to set this, the dynamic position you're going to have at the top, because this is when he's going to have full extension in the backswing, and that's what we want to be measuring. Okay, so we have him at 150, pretty strong there. Okay, now show me how much rotation back. And we go here, you'll see exactly that bubble centered, and that's the angle. Now Jay, while you're there, step to 9. Did you get a little rebound there? Did you feel that?
The further I'm putting that foot out, it wants to come forward.
Well, but if you went back out to, what's another wider number?
21 maybe?
Okay, go out to 21. So it's not in stance width. It comes back, exactly. So it's the core region number. He will have this angle now exactly the same in all 6, 7 dominant core region stance width. That's because he's done his place. Okay, but let's take a look at the difference in me and you and how I am low core as well. So that my angles are more severe than Jay's. I'm 151 low core, I'm on number 1. That happens to be my lower core number. And I'm 161 on 9. Jay, recall, was 158, went to 168. If you've seen some of Lori Rinker's, Lori also has a total of 10 degrees from lower to upper as well. So don't know if you're going to find that with your students, but it's an interesting observation here. So Jay, if you just measure my arm here, we've set that on 151. Let's see if we still have it.
And bubble is centered.
Okay, so we're at 151. This is going to be my strength up here. Is that it?
That's it.
So if I were throwing a ball, using a lat bar, bench pressing, as soon as I move in, I'm going to put stress on the shoulder. So this is going to be my 151. This is the dynamic position I would encourage you to measure from. So I'm going to move over here now. And again, I'm going to go to, is that it? Okay, now let's see how much external rotation I have.
That's it.
Okay, Jay, can you step, there you go. So you're going to see that external rotation. So what happens now in my golf swing, I'm able to, as Jay could not, I'm able to set this position. So I'm capable of playing from that low core position, Jay, and that's where you were having difficulty. But let's look at what my 9 is, and we'll look at 5 as well. So 9, Jay, let's test 161 there. I think you're going to find it. You'll notice, see if I am at 9, see how shallow that is? As soon as I move to 1, it's much greater. So that's 9.
And we're set there.
Is that good?
Yeah, one more time. Yeah, we're centered.
Okay, so I'm going to feel, that feels pretty much it right here. Is that it?
It's right there.
Okay.
That's it right there.
Okay, now, so I'm going to hold this position. We're going to go do the same thing here. And would you set me up there, Jay?
Right there.
Okay. Now let's check and that's as much as I have.
It's perfect. Center.
Yeah. So my external shoulder rotation is going to be equal to my carrying angle. If I bring this elbow down now, look where it is. And that's the trail arm position for the upper core player. So let's take a look at mid-core. So Jay, I believe you're going to find me at about 156. Would be it. See if that's it.
And bubble centered. That's perfect.
Okay. So dynamically, we're going to test me. Is that about? That feels like that might be it right here.
And you were right. Actually, that's perfect right there.
Okay. Now we're going to show you over here, 156. So again, 5 degrees within each.
Perfect.
Okay, and my external rotation is about to here.
Solid, that's perfect.
Okay, so if I were to bring this arm down now, that's trail arm position you want for a mid-core player. So when you measure your students, you want to make sure they're standing in balance. They're going to be best after, I've done the core 360 this morning. At least plank within their 3 stance widths when you test them. Then you can check the power angle and see where that trail arm position is. If it's compatible with their core region, they can go play. If it isn't, as we've learned with Jay, we're going to move Jay to an upper core player.